I started with a $2,000 credit card loan, and I opened the world's first retail fitness store because that's the thing I was into, fitness. And 2.5 years later, I was a millionaire. And I looked at everything and I said, this is exactly the opposite of what everybody told me to do, what I was learning from everyone.
Hey Insider, I'm back again with another exclusive interview with an incredibly successful insider called T Harv Eker. He's a New York Times best-selling author of The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind and the founder of world-renowned event called Millionaire Mindset Intensive. Using the principle he's now taught to millions of people across the globe, T Harv Eker went from zero to millionaire in only 2.5 years. In this interview, he breaks down the very strategies that he used to transform his financial life and how you can do the same as well so you can reach the millionaire status or whatever dream you may have. And so make sure to stick all the way to the end of this video because the points he mentions towards the end is super powerful. And also Insider, make sure to click on the bell notification symbol and that way you'll be notified of our latest uploads here at Success Insider, which means you'll be able to commit to life mastery as you'll be getting my regular, the most up-to-date content that's going to help you to create the life you're born to live. So make sure to click on that symbol. And without further ado, here is the exclusive interview with a legend, T Harv Eker. Enjoy. Since you're on a show called Success Insider, T Harv, what is definition of success to you?
All right, so here's, I'm not going to be controversial or anything like that, although I normally am pretty hard ass, I guess people would call me. And I am that way because I think if you BS around, then you're like everybody else. And, I can only tell you again, what I believe, what's worked for me. And again, literally millions of my students, from not research, like in the real world. So I don't BS around and I cut straight to the chase. And if some people don't like my style and, thanks for listening, but don't let the messenger get in the way of the message. Maybe you can learn something even if you don't like the way I do it. That's, don't get too hung up on that. Hopefully you're not that ultra sensitive. And if you are ultra sensitive, you won't be successful. I can tell you that. So there isn't a definition of success for me and for you and for Joe and for Sue. There is a definition of success. The definition of success is the achievement of pre-intended goals or intentions. That's what it is. So success isn't like, oh, I'm successful, I think success is, no, it's not about thinking about it. Look it up in the dictionary. The dictionary will tell you the definition. So this is a big problem for most people because, if you don't do this, your goal line, your scorecard will change all the time. You'll never feel successful because success, your definition changes all the time. Don't let it change. It's simply the achievement of pre-intended goals or intentions. That's it. So if you say, if that's what success is, then you say, well, what's success for you? All right, so now you can say, well, I had a goal of this and I achieved that. And I don't care what it was. My goal today was to go shopping and pick up the groceries and then go get the gas. And then I was going to come back and make these 3 calls. And that's what my goal was for today, or that's what my intention was for today. And I did that. There you go. There's a successful day. Okay, it's as simple as that. So now you have to say, okay, what are some of the things that I pre-intended to do that I did? So now you can talk to people about their personal situation, but as far as, what is success, that is what success is. And you have to pre-intend the goal. I'm going to remind what I just said before. This is very important because I don't just teach success. I teach happiness. I teach personal power and that kind of stuff. And the reason most people aren't happy, well, a lot of people who want to be successful, they're not happy because they don't feel successful. They don't not feel successful because they're not successful. It's because they don't know what success is. And as I said, the finish line keeps moving, doesn't it, in your mind? So all of a sudden, you did something you're successful with, but now you don't feel successful because you got to do something else. Great. Okay. So if you said, Harv, what is a success for you? What have you been successful with? I would say, well, in what area of my life? In relationship or in spirituality or in health or in business or in money, well, I'd say my first success in money is I always pre-intended, I always had a goal of being a millionaire. Well, as I said earlier, in 2.5 years, starting with nothing, a $2,000 credit card loan, I became a millionaire. All right, check off. That is a success, right? And so, so for me, I have, thank goodness, many successes, and so do you. And so it's very important, I think, everybody to realize that you need to focus on your successes, not on your non-successes. Because if you focus on what you're not successful with, you'll always be in the process of quote unquote unsuccess. Some people call it failure. I don't call it failure. But you won't feel successful because you're mostly in the process. So people go, well, what do I do? Well, what do you do is you need, what I say to do, and I know we're a little off topic here, but who cares? What I say to do is every night before you go to bed, write down 3 of your successes for that day. You know, what did you intend to do that you actually did? Whatever it was, I don't care what area of life it is. Well, I was going to work out. Did you do it? Yeah, there you go. That's a success. And the more you focus on your successes, the more confidence you will have, right? You'll have confidence. Confidence means what? Confidence, it comes from the Latin word. Everybody write this down if you can. Confidence comes from the Latin word confidere, which means to what? To trust. And who do you have to trust? Yourself. And most people aren't successful and happy because they don't trust themselves, because they're unsure of whether they can actually do it when push comes to shove. Well, how would you know if you can, quote unquote, do it if you never did it? You wouldn't. But you could go back to your track record, right? You say, I was successful with, oh, look, here I'm going to open up my journal of successes. And I've got, wow, 45 days I've done of 3 successes each. That's like 150 successes I can go back to. Yeah, I do what I say I'm going to do. If I intend to do something, I get it done. Absolutely. I'm successful. So here's this new intention, whatever it is, small or big. I can do that because I have a track record. But people, they get afraid, they're in fear and they're uncertain because they're not sure they can do it. And why aren't they sure they can do it? Because they never counted their small successes and they never focus on those. They only focus on what they didn't do, what they couldn't do. And then you let your mind take you out and guess what? You ain't going to do it.
Wow. What would you say in regards to what you said? It's very interesting. So you're saying even with the small goals and the big goals, it's all success at the end of the day, whether or not you meet them. So what would you say in regards to this? People may be thinking, okay, so I've been able to check off some small goals, such as getting the groceries today, but I'm failing at becoming a millionaire. But would you say the process in regards to meeting these goals is the same in regards to, let's say, the keys to succeeding in life? Or would you say it's a totally different sort of skill?
Well, I mean, it's a good question. Very good question there, Tim, because it's only a question of degree of the same thing. Yes, saying, I'm going to go out and get the groceries today, and you doing it is the same success as I'm going to go make $1 million and doing it. The only difference is the degree and the challenge of doing it. All right. And you know what? I'm going to, again, go off topic because I want to make sure that your group, the people who are listening to us right now, I'm only here for, I'm semi-retired, right? I don't do a lot of these interviews. I haven't been on stage in 3 years. I'm semi-retired. I'm in Maui right now. And so I agreed to do this because I still love to help people. And so I don't care what the questions are. I don't care. All I care about is, can you and I help as many people with real street smart information that will make a difference in their life, like in the next hour. And that's all I care about. And here it is for everybody. Listen closely. It's a great question you answered. Most people say, well, Harv, what is the most important trait to success? Simple. Integrity. Integrity. What does that mean? It means doing what you said you're going to do. See how that floats in with the definition of success? Doing what you said you're going to do. Okay, fine. That means wholeness. I started here. I got to here. I'm whole. I'm in integrity, right? So doing what you said you're going to do. The problem with most people is they say they're going to be rich. They say they're going to make $1 million. They say they're going to have, $500,000 in revenue this year in their business. They say they're going to do this. They say that. All these big things they're going to accomplish in their life. But they also say that I'm going to go out and get the groceries, and they don't do it. And they also say, I'm going to work out, 3 times this week, and they don't do it. They also say, I'm going to not drink Coca-Cola anymore, and they drink it. They do not keep their word on the little things. And therefore, not only do themselves not trust themselves anymore, they know they're BSing all the time. It can't even do the simplest small things. What makes you think you can do the big things? You're just pretending. You're just BSing yourself so you feel better about your non-success. That's what people do. They BS themselves. They go, the little things don't matter. The big things matter. Yeah. That's like saying, only when I get to the top of Mount Everest will it matter. But, you know, who cares about, there's no such thing as the 80,000 steps between here and there. Guess what? Every one of those steps gets you to the top of Everest. If you can't take the first step, the 10th step, or the 20th step, you will not get to the top, period, over and out. You have to train yourself. What's the word? Train yourself to do what you say you're going to do with the little things, so you trust yourself and the universe trusts you to do what you said with the big things. You can't do the little stuff. You will not do the big stuff. Stop kidding yourself. Practice with the little things. Give yourself something you're going to do today or this hour or whatever, and no matter what, whatever it takes, and that's another key principle, whatever it takes, you get it done. You do it. Why? Because you said you would. And then later, when you say, I'm going to become a millionaire, or I'm going to have a revenue of $1 million this year, now you have a track record that says, whatever I say happens, actually happens in the universe. And you trust yourself, other people trust you, and the universe works in your favor.
Wow, I couldn't have said it better myself. It definitely does, definitely does. And I think with a lot of insiders tuning in right now, with a lot of emails we received, they'll definitely resonate with that, because I find a lot of people definitely dream big on this planet, which I think is great, because self-help industry has really done that for a lot of people. And yet they don't achieve a lot of the goals that they set out to achieve. And
right, and you know what? There's you're a younger person. I feel young, but I may not be that young in age. I guess I don't know. It's a bit weird. I can tell you what. You get to my age, and you go, what the hell happened? Like, I mean, I should be 30. I mean, I'm in my 60s, and I can't believe it. I mean, I can tell you right now, it goes really, really, really fast. And you can talk to anybody who's of age, and they're going to go, what happened? Where did my life go? And the young people today, I'm noticing a difference in them between the younger people and people my age and people older even. And one of the biggest differences is that a lot of young people today, because everything today is instant gratification. I'm not saying that's good or bad, but it's reality. You press a button, boom, there's your answer. You press a button here, there's your connection with somebody. It's instant. You know, with me in the old days, you know, I was talking to somebody last night at dinner. We were talking about the old hockey teams in the 60s. And, you know, literally you had to dial, you want to call somebody, can tell you that you dial the number, you know, whatever, and then you wait and they may pick up the phone or not. Then you wait 4 more hours. Maybe they're home, maybe they're not. It is not instant. I'm sorry. It doesn't work. Now it's like email, it doesn't work. Text doesn't work. Facebook doesn't work. Hit them up. Oh yeah. Okay. Got you. Right. It takes 3 seconds. Right. So it's just instant. So people believe it's an instant world. They also believe in because of that success and everything they want should come instantly, right? And so they're not sure why it's not happening for them. And one of the reasons it's not happening for them is they're not willing to take the small, every day, every minute steps in the process of getting to the top of Mount Everest. They think someone's going to pick them up in a helicopter and drop them there. And I did that. I was in Nepal, and I got picked up in a helicopter, and I got dropped onto base camp, which is great. But don't tell me I climbed Mount Everest. I got to base camp by helicopter, and that's all I'm going to do. And that costs a lot of money, okay? So everyone, you need to practice doing the little things. You need to understand success is a process. Getting to the top of the mountain takes many, 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 many steps. It's about the process. The process will lead to the goal. Now, people say, Harv, should I focus only on like right now and let the goal take care of itself? No, that people go the other way. They go, I'm just going to be in the present, which is a good idea for being content and happy. And that's great. It doesn't really get you very quickly to your goals if you don't have one. So you've got to have 2 things in play. You've got to know where the top is. I'm going to the top of Mount Everest. You've got to know that. Okay. You got to be clear about that. And then you've got to be clear about and take the very first step, and then the next step, and then the next step, with keeping your goal in mind. So you have to have both. Where are you going? And what's my next step? And focus on that step. Most people, they go, where am I going? And somehow drop me off in a helicopter at the top of my $10 million. Okay, well, how's that working for you? It works for like nobody. Even the people that thought, you know, their companies like went public and they got like $20 billion. They have to put some serious work in, okay, before that. And they're very fortunate. And their story is 1 in a billion. The rest of us actually have to take the steps to get to Mount Everest.
So what would you say to people who are thinking, I don't even know what the top is? Because I find a lot of people nowadays, they message us, don't even have clarity in regards to that. What advice would you give them?
Well, you just said it. I mean, Tim, you just hit the number one principle to success. As I said earlier, we both said the definition of success is a pre-intended goal, achieving a pre-intended goal, okay? Or so, you know, if there's a saying that we use all the time, the number one reason most people don't get what they want is because they don't know what they want. The number one reason most people don't get what they want is they don't know what they want, all right? And that's not an easy thing. I feel for you. I mean, in a lot of my life in the past, I didn't know what I wanted. I just want to be successful. But I didn't know, how, like specifically, what do I really want and what does success look like for me? What are my pre-intended goals? What do I really want to achieve versus what my parents told me and what everybody else tells me and what's, you know, what they say is important, all that stuff. So, you know, the best thing that you can do is you got to get clear of what you really want in your life. And let me say this right now. I would do a program. We have a free webinar also. It's called Passion, Purpose, Profits. But the point of that is that, the course is called Get Rich Doing What You Love. And the key to this thing is that the reason most people are unclear is because of one word: fear. Fear. You don't want to make a mistake. Like, who on earth wants to choose, I want to do this, I want to be this, and then go, oh my God, the ladder climbing up the wrong wall for all these years, right? Like, how many people are in that position? And you're afraid to make the decision. And you're afraid to say, I'm going for that. Because first of all, every time you've done it before, you talked yourself out of it 3 days later, right? You take a walk. I'm clear now. This is what I want. It's how I'm going to do it. Boom, boom, boom. And then you go, well, I don't know. I'm not so sure. Right? That's the mind talking. That's how the mind keeps you in your comfort zone. Your mind is, let's talk about the mind for a second. Your mind is very important in what it does and what it doesn't do. Your mind is a survival mechanism. That's its job. Its job is to keep you alive. How does it do it? It keeps you alive, and its role, it believes, is protection. One of the ways of protection is to keep things familiar. And one of the ways to keep things familiar is to keep you basically where you are, right? In your comfort zone. And so here you are, you say, I'm here. I want to go here. I'm choosing this. And the first thing after your higher self chooses that is your lower self, your protective self, your fear-based self, your mind is going to come in and go, oh, I don't know if that's the right one. Oh, I don't know if I could do it. Oh, that's going to be too hard. Oh, maybe I should choose something else. But what? And here you go in your vicious circle. And let me let everybody understand, the vicious circle stopping you from getting what you want is right there. It's in your head. It's nowhere else. It's not in the steps. It's not in the goal. It's not in anything but in your head. This is the only thing that stops you. So what do you have to do? Well, you have to be able to master your own mind. That is the key thing I teach. If you cannot master your mind, you cannot master your life. And not just BS, because people ask all the time, well, Harv, they go, Harv, what should I invest in? What stock should I buy? What business should I get? That's all superfluous. That's all like outer world stuff. It's great. Well, your inner world stuff is all like, come on, it's woo-woo. It's like, who cares? I mean, you got the business stuff and the stock stuff. Listen, let me explain something. If you're talking about a computer situation here, which is the important part of this. I mean, they're both important, but which is the important part? The plastic in the keys, which could be replaced anytime, or the software? The software is the brains, right? Without the software, you ain't going anywhere. The software determines everything. The software, not the hardware. The hardware is just the tools. That's the easy stuff. We teach tools all day long. Here, do this, don't do that. Market like this, don't market like that. Psychology, people want this, they don't want that. That's the easy stuff. The hard stuff is dealing with yourself, isn't it?
And what would you say was how long have you spent in personal development now? It must be many, many years, right? In personal development, studying all of the stuff you've studied. How many years would you say?
Since I was 14 years old.
Wow.
I read Think and Grow Rich when I was 14.
That's incredible.
Because I was listening to everybody else with their strategies, right? From the time I left college at 18 to 30, I was freaking broke, like underground all the time.
Right.
I felt terrible about myself and was literally, I was embarrassed to come out of my house in case somebody asked me what I did. And I have to explain some BS, right? Make something up to make myself look semi-decent. So
what would you say?
You got to work on yourself, but the most important thing you got to work with is your own mind. Will your mind take you out or will it not take you out? Because you know what? There's nobody who doesn't have negative self-talk. That's all. To think someone, you have negative self-talk if you are a robot. I'm not a robot. You're not a robot. Nobody listening is a robot, but you have a robotic mind, and your mind is there to protect you. Your mind is not your success director. Your mind is not your happiness director, and it's not your love director, and it's not your any of those directors. It's only your survival director. It's based in fear. So because of that, almost everything you say to yourself is somehow, some way based in a form of big or little fear. And that's the way we are. There's, the only thing to question is, will that fear stop you? Can you overcome what your own mind, the voice in your head, is saying to yourself to stop you or slow you? And the answer is yes, you can, if you don't believe everything the voice is saying to you. It'd be like, saying that, that your mind says, your mind will say, okay, so I want to become a millionaire. Okay, so I know I'm learning the steps. Great. And then you go out and you go, first thing is I've got to send this email to this person that I don't know and try to ask them to, I don't say mentor me, but can you share something with me? Or hey, how about this? They want to come on your program and listening to you and me. So I don't know how many people you have. I know I have millions, but I can tell you only a fraction of them get on. Why? Because their mind will take them out. I don't have time. I'm busy. I have to do this. I have to do that. It doesn't really work. Oh, I'm not sure. Blah, blah, blah. In the end, did they get on? No, they didn't get on the call. Period, over and out. That stops them. Why? The computer didn't walk over and hit them on the head and knock them out. They couldn't do it. They didn't faint. Their mind stopped them, right? So what do you have to do with your mind? Number one critical key for everybody. You can make a distinction by your observation. You have an observing mind. That's your higher self that listens to this other voice that you can determine whether it's positive or negative for you, supportive or unsupportive to your happiness and your success. That's called observation. The witness, that's enlightenment 101. Okay. Most people understand that. You have a part that can make the distinguishing, the distinction between whether your thoughts, that particular thought, or the track of thoughts you have is helpful for you, or is it very fear-based and it's like stopping you? You know that. Yeah. When your voice is saying things to you to stop you, you have to understand that your voice is there to help you, help protect you, not to be more successful or happy, just protect you. And it's like an over-worried mother. And what do you do with an over-worried mother? You go, I love you. Thanks for sharing that. I'm just going to do what I need to do. Okay. But there you go. And so you can hear what your voice is saying, but you don't have to buy into it. The favorite words of your own mind is, what if? What if this happens? What if that happens? Because it's always looking for, remember, it's like the sentry on the ship. It's always looking for what's wrong or could go wrong in every situation, because that's its job. It's not looking for what could go right. It's not its job. Your other part of your mind will do that, but most of us have this other nagging part to go, oh, what if this happens? What if it doesn't work? What if I blow all my money? What if these people look at me like I'm an idiot? I said it 10 times, they're going to think I'm stupid. Like all this crap going on. And we have many, many methods in our programs to teach people how to overcome that. But let me share the simplest, very effective method that you can use. Is that okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
When your mind is saying whatever it's saying that's preventing you or not supporting you, you simply use the 4 magic words. What are they? Thank you for sharing. You say nicely to your mind, oh, okay, I got you. Thank you for sharing. And then you go ahead and take the steps you need to take to be successful. As you're climbing Mount Everest, you're feeling tired. You're feeling you can't catch your breath. What does your mind say? You're an idiot for starting this. Whatever made you think you could do this? You need to turn around right now or we're going to die. Okay, this is painful. Let's turn around. Do they turn around? Yeah, the losers turn around. The unsuccessful people always turn around. They listen to that voice, the overworried mother, and say, you're right, I shouldn't have done it. Let's turn around, I gotta go. Mostly people who are doing Mount Everest, they're already at a level where they're not idiots and they're taking on something that, they're gonna listen to their mind. But, and what's your Mount Everest? It could just simply be, I wanna go from making 50,000 to 100,000 a year. That's your Mount Everest. But then here's the problem. To go from 50,000 level to 100,000 level, you see there's a difference between here and here. Does everyone see that? That difference? That's different than what you've been doing. Ha! See the difference between 50 and 100? That difference? That's different. They always say if you want to get something different, you have to do something different. That difference, you have to do something different. So that's when your mind is going to kick in and go, I'm afraid, I don't know, what if it doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. And what do you have to do? Thank you for sharing, and then take the first step. The first step, and then the next step, and then the next step. You understand that? You cannot let your mind take you out. The only thing that stops people from being successful and happy is right there. That's the only thing. You can blame it on, oh, I don't have enough money, and I don't have the opportunity, and these people aren't supporting me, and I don't know this, and blah, 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 blah. It's just more excuses. That's all it is. I mean, it's not saying it's negative. It's just excuses that your mind will help you make up so you don't get out of your comfort zone, so you stay familiar, so you can stay where you are, which is perfect for your mind.
Wow. As I'm listening to T Harv, I've got to say, you've got incredible energy for somebody who's in their 60s. So I really want to ask this question.
Wow.
When you're going through tough times, how do you keep yourself motivated normally?
Okay. I'm seeing that my picture is frozen. Are we frozen all, or you can see me okay?
Yep. Your picture's frozen, but I can still hear you. Okay. Yep.
Okay, right. All right, cool. Hi, so unfreeze my picture somehow. Anyways, hopefully that'll it'll be handled. Okay, so what was the question again?
So the question is, T Harv, because of your incredible energy, I really want to know, how do you keep yourself motivated when you're going through tough times normally?
Well, the number one thing is going to be your why. Your why. Here, keep trying to get me back on, and I'll keep trying too. Okay. As long as you can hear me audio. So keep trying to get the video back on.
Yep.
Your why, as in, why do you want to do what you're doing? If your intention or your goal, because motivated towards what, right? If your goal is X, Y, Z, and it's not overly important to you, then every little obstacle in your way is going to get in your way and stop you. But if your intention or your goal is incredibly important to you, then it's not going to be so quick to give up, because what's more important, the giving up part or getting to that goal or that intention? So your why, the bigger your why you're doing what you're doing, the bigger your why, the easier it is to stay motivated. The number one reason most people give up is because they don't have a big enough why. Why they're doing what they're doing. Well, I want to be rich. Why? Ooh, well, so I can live nice. What do you mean by that exactly? Why do you want to be rich? What's it going to do exactly for you? Well, I want to be able to, eat a nice restaurant. Is that important to you? Well, it's kind of. You're not going to be rich. If your purpose for being rich and wealthy is you don't even know it, and it's not important to you, it's too hard. It's too hard to do that. So I can tell you that when I was younger, this isn't a good one, but this is a popular one. And it's very important people recognize why they want to be successful. See, as I said to you earlier, when I left school, my parents pinned me up against the wall. And because education was the only thing they knew that could possibly get them out of their position. So they thought if I wasn't educated, I would be a bum. And they pinned me up against the wall. And when I said I'm going to leave school, I just said for a year, right? Taking a year off. And they freaked out. And they pinned me up in there. I could still, their eyes and their nose, they're right in front of me, like this far, right? This far. You're a bum. You're never going to amount to anything. What's the matter with you? This is the stupidest thing you ever did. You're going to be a bum. You're a loser. You're not going to make it. We're not going to support you. Get the hell out of here. That's what they said to me. And they were screaming. My dad's spit was like right in my face. I'm not kidding you. And so when I left there, after I finished like getting in the car and crying, because everybody wants their parents' approval. I mean, I certainly did. I want to be a good boy and be a good son. And, you want your parents' approval, and there's a reason for that. It's called survival at the time. So everybody wants that. And I was very, very upset. And all I remember is I said right there, you know what? I'm going to show them. I'm going to show them. I'm going to make it. I'm going to become a millionaire. Okay. They're not a millionaire. They'll never be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to show them. Okay. And so I wanted to be rich. Why? Because about eating better, about traveling more, about having a nicer car? Heck no. All I wanted to do was prove to my parents that I wasn't a bum, right? That was the driving force, proving myself. Now, how many other people that we're talking to right now, your underlying rationale for being successful is to prove yourself? I bet a lot. Some people say, well, I want to prove myself to myself. Nice try. Same thing. Proving is proving. Proving something means you don't already have it and you are not it. I don't care whether you say it's to yourself or not. It's still BS. Okay. After 4 million students, I can call BS a lot because I've heard them all, right? I see very successful people. I see unsuccessful people, and I can see exactly why, right? It's a pretty easy, black and white read for me. So, but for you, it's all the, and for me too, when it comes to somebody else, you got great advice, don't you? When it comes to yourself, you turn into a dough brain, right? Because your mind is like, oh, I'm not it's the but, right? So that's the critical thing that, you have to understand that piece of it.
Okay. With the limited time we've got, T Harv, I just want to ask in regards to the financial freedom, because I think sometimes people, they need to understand, I suppose, in regards to internal world, and they still want the thing that they think they want, not necessarily what they need to hear. But if people are still thinking, T Harv, that's great, but I just want to still make millions. What do you think is the best advice you could give to them in regards to reaching financial freedom? What's the steps that they could take to actually get there?
Okay, that's a great question, because you brought up a big sore point that most people make the biggest mistake, okay? You said, I still want to make millions. I still want to be financially free, as if those are the same thing. They are not the same, everybody. This is a huge misconception that 99.99999% of people have, that to be financially free means to be rich. So that means to become financially free, I need to become rich. Wrong. Incorrect. Those are two different goals. You understand that? You need to choose. Do I want to be financially free, or do I want to be rich? Why are they two different things? Why do you think that if I get rich, I'll be financially free? No, you won't. Those are two different definitions. One has to do with your net worth. One has to do with your passive income. All right. The definition of rich is an accumulation of assets worth whatever you deem rich to be, okay? Assets. So you can have, $20 million in assets in real estate. And guess what? You're not financially free. You're actually house poor. Okay, they call it, right? My net worth is $20 million. Yes, you are a $20 million multimillionaire. Yeah, you got it. You're rich, but you're not free. Okay. Mm-hmm. Why? Because you haven't set up the passive. Now let's talk about financial freedom. Financial freedom is simply having the amount of passive income coming in to pay for your desired lifestyle. Let me say it again. Having the amount of passive income without you working, coming in to pay for your desired lifestyle. That is radically different than rich. Get it? All right. So, Harv, what do I do with all this? What should I do? Well, I always say do whatever the hell you want to do. Okay. But all I can give you is what worked for me and what's worked for millions of other of my students. So what do? Let me ask you a question. What's easier to get to? What's the first thing? What's easier to get to? Level 5 or level 25?
Level 5.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right, good. So choose the one that's easiest to get to, because if you can get to that one, right, then you can always re-choose to get to the next one. That's easier. What's easier to get to? Financial freedom, having the amount of money you need coming in passively, passive income without you working, to achieve the lifestyle you desire, or getting really rich. Usually most people say, how much money do you need a year to come in to live the lifestyle you desire? Well, it depends on the lifestyle you desire, right? That's why we believe in simplicity, because it makes it easier, right? But let's just keep it simple. Most people would say, I don't know, if I was earning $100,000 a year after taxes, making $200,000 a year after taxes, I could live a pretty nice lifestyle. Yes? Yeah, most people would agree with that. So we can do that. But we have to have a strategy for doing that. See, earning a couple of $100,000 a year is a lot easier than having a net worth of $10 million. That one takes a lot shorter than the other. I can show people how to become financially free, usually within a couple of years, 2-3 years. I mean, you should be able to become financially free. Depends on your level, but at least a starting point, first level of financial freedom should take 2 or 3 years. Rich, that could take a lifetime, right? So why don't we in our courses, what we teach is, let's go for what most people want. Because if I say, why do you want to be rich? Why do you want to have a lot of money? Here's what the answer most people give is, I just want to be free. I just want to have choice. I just want to do what I want to do with my time, right? I don't want to be forced into having to work and forced into having to do this thing and that thing and projects I don't like and people I don't like. And I just want my own life back. I just want to be free, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, not everybody says that, but in my students, 95% say, that's why I want to be rich. Okay, if that's where clarity you talked about comes in, if that's what you want, why don't we go directly there? Why don't we go there? Let's go for freedom. And then after we get free, hey, guess what? Let's go for rich now. We can do that because one's first. So what we teach is this: first free, then rich. I want everybody to say that with me, okay? This is critical in your life. First free, then rich. Because rich just takes too long, okay? Right? So how do we get free? All right. What was the definition of freedom? Having enough passive, what's the word? Passive income to pay for your desired lifestyle. Okay. Passive income, what does that mean? Income without you working. Does that mean you're lying on the beach all day long, every day you don't have to do anything? No, that's BS. That's like La La Land. That's like fairy tale stuff. It doesn't happen in the real world. I'm financially free. I've been financially free for a lot of years. I still do some work. I still have to maintain what I'm doing. I have all these investments. It takes literally an hour, 2-3 hours a day to just handle all this stuff I got going for my passive income, let alone my wealth stuff, okay? It takes time. So let's not like get hung up on, oh, that means you're working a little. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're working a little. Oh, okay, God. Okay, yeah, you are. So what? You know, that's the way it is. Everything takes maintenance. Everything is energy. Say that with me. Everything is what? Energy. All energy takes maintenance, right? To keep it where it is. Yeah. So yeah, expect that a little bit. That's okay. So now what are we going to focus on? We need to focus on passive income. We need to focus on income coming in without us having to work. Does that happen on day one? Usually not. You have to create. See, that's your strategy. So now when I say, well, you talked about, Tim, being clear about what you want. And if it's financial, may I strongly recommend that everyone get really clear that you want freedom, right? And the wealth can come after. It's beautiful, but it's great. But it can come after. So if I want freedom, here's the thing. The strategy for becoming free is very different than the strategy for becoming rich. They're two different things. All right, so we want freedom. Freedom first. So what do? We need to create passive income. How do we do that? There's many ways and many vehicles that can create passive income. All right. So for example, if I want to create passive income, that means income coming in without me having to work or without me having to deliver it myself. All right, let's say in my business, we could take you and I, we're going to be partners. Okay. And we're going to go for freedom. All right. We're partners. We've got this hopefully really great video that's got a lot of fantastic information for people. We're going to charge $50 for this, $49.95. That's it. We're in business. All right. Now, what would be our goal? Our goal would be to set up everybody write this word down, to set up a system. What's the word? A system that allows the delivering of this value, this video with this information to be delivered without us having to be there. How do we do that? Well, we're going to put it online. We're going to set up several marketing funnels, several marketing methodologies that go to the link that have them bring up the advertising for the video and how it can change people's lives, etc. And then they go to the shopping cart, they pay their $49, they buy it, and what are we doing? You and I are having dinner and we're on the beach somewhere and you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing. And then we look in the morning, oh, there were 100 sales for $49. That's $4,900. You take your $2,400 and I take my $2,400 and that's the end of that. And we're back on the beach, right? That's how you do it. That's not rich. What did I say? We have a product, we have a value that we're going to deliver, and we're focused on how are we going to set it up and format it in such a way that we can deliver it without us having to do it every day and make a phone call. Hey, John, do you want to buy my $49 program here? Oh, yeah? Okay, great. Here's what I want you to do. Send me a credit card or give me a credit. Well, that's a lot of work. Me, right? So you got to set up this system first. So we're going to have to do a lot of work, edit this thing, package it up, give it a nice title. Then we're going to have to sit around for a couple of weeks or months. And we're going to come up with marketing methodology that can go online. How are we going to get people to look at the marketing, whether it's Facebook systems that work without us so that we don't have to be there for the damn thing to be sold. There you go. That's one out of like 25 different methodologies that people can become financially free with. And you know what? You say, well, that doesn't sound that hard. Yeah, right. It's not that hard. So just freaking do it. Okay.
T Harv, I just want to say, just once again, thank you so much for all of that value you've provided. You've covered a lot of different topics today. If you was to just leave people with just one final message you want them to take home and just take action on, what would it be?
Okay. I have, what I teach is two simple principles. For success. There's only two. Don't make it complicated. Keep it simple. Why? Because complicated is interesting, but simple is usable. And I'll take usable over interesting any day of the week when it comes to success, okay? Most people want to make everything complicated. Keep it simple. Okay, what is it? Here they are. Everybody write these down if you can. If you're driving, don't write it down yet. Okay? Get home, write it down. Two rules. Two principles. Number one, learn. Number two, do what you learned. Number 3, learn more. Number 4, do what you learned. Number 5, learn more. Number 6, do what you learned. Learn, do, learn, do, learn, do. You can be successful at anything. You might as well say, well, why aren't I successful? Because you don't know what you're doing. How about that? Simple enough. You don't know what you're doing. Well, how do I know what to do? Learn what to do. Learn from people that have been where you want to be. Okay. Choose teachers that you like and then you can resonate with. However you learn, there's ways to learn. Learn. But then the other reason they're not successful is a lot of people know a lot of stuff. They learn a lot of stuff. They just don't do it. They don't do it. Well, I can't do it because, I'm so busy. Busy doing what? Busy doing the stuff that's keeping you where you are? I said earlier, you have to do something different to get something different. Yes or yes? So learn and then do. Learn and then do. If you learn and you don't do, it's useless to learn. If you do and you don't learn, you're going to do the wrong things. So learn and do. It's as simple as that. And then just keep with that formula all the time. One of the things in my book, principle number 17 out of 17, is that rich people are always willing to learn and grow, and broke people think they already know. What can I tell you?
Wow, beautifully said. T Harv, if people want to check out more of your work and learn more from you, where would you like to send them to?
Well, we have released an ebook, and it's a life changer. I think what changed my life. And again, all I teach is what worked for me, and it's now worked for literally hundreds of thousands of my students. So it's called Speed Wealth. And it's basically how to stop earning a living and start creating wealth. And basically what it boils down to is, how to become a multi-millionaire in any business you choose in 3 years or less. That's what it teaches. There's 7 steps. How many steps? 7 steps. You're going to learn the 7 steps that again, were the difference that made the difference for me when I learned all this other stuff that was like, that kept me broke. And again, hundreds of thousands of my students. There's 7 steps to creating wealth quickly. If you want to create wealth slowly, you don't need to use these steps. If you don't want to create wealth, you don't need to use the steps. But I'm letting you know right now that in my humble opinion, and the opinion of hundreds of thousands of other people now, if you want to create wealth and you want to do it fairly quickly, like very quickly, you not only need to use all 7 steps, you cannot miss one. Okay, you're gonna get the book. It's gonna show 7 steps. You have to do all 7 steps. And here's the thing, you have to do them in order. You cannot do number 6 before number 4. So it doesn't say that in there. I'm telling you right now, you do all 7, they're simple. And you do them in order, and you will be blown away at how quickly you can actually create wealth or freedom. To create freedom, you do the first 6 steps. To create wealth, you just add the 7th. Remember I said first freedom, then wealth. You just add the 7th, okay? And you'll be blown away. The people that have gotten really rich really quickly, 95% of them have all done it this way. They don't write it in a book. They don't say that. They don't even know that they did it this way, but they all did it this way. And that's why, again, when I studied rich people, this is what I found out. And so I think, to me, that's one of the most important things. Remember the learn part? So for everybody, I would encourage you to get this ebook, and I'll make it really easy for your group. How about if I just give it to you as a gift? So you have no more excuses, okay? No excuses. I'm going to give it to you. Just all you have to, if you don't even have enough motivation or enough whatever it takes to go to the link and download your complimentary, your gift, I can't help you. I'm sorry. You're too far gone. No one can. I can't help you. So you got to have at least that amount of motivation yourself, and at least that amount of willingness to take action. And you know who's going to do it? The people who are already doing well. They don't think about it twice. What? That's great. I always see the same thing. People say, I see where I live. I have to admit, I'm not shy. I live in very, very beautiful places. I'm very, very wealthy. I'm not shy about saying that. I think people are wealthy should say they're wealthy. People are broke should say you're broke. It doesn't matter, right? It's just an amount of money. Very wealthy. and I have beautiful homes, you know, and I have homes in some of the nicest places in the world and some of the nicest homes in the world. And so so my neighbors are very, very wealthy. And they go, "Oh, you're an author. What'd you write?" "Well, I write this." "I want to go get your book. What's the name? I want to pick it up." "You don't really need it." "I know, but if I could just get one idea, that would be worthwhile." They're the first people to always get my books. The rich ones, they don't even need it, and they're the first ones. The broke people, they'll always be broke. Why? "Well, I don't know if it's going to work." There's their mind going right now. You can already tell. You can always smell it working. "I'm not sure if it work. I don't have time. I'll write it down. Maybe I'll get it later." All the same mind trick that stops them from getting everything they want is why they don't get the book. I'm giving it to you to say that there's nothing that can stop you. You don't like my style? Mwah, I love you anyway. It's okay. Just get the message. Forget the messenger, okay? Mm-hmm. You don't like me? Great. Maybe you resonate with me? Great. You don't resonate with me? Great. The principles, though, will change your life. So you go to to get it complimentary, you need to go to www.harvekeronline.com/book. Let me say that again. Harv Eker, HARVEKER, online, same word, harvekeronline.com/book. Okay? And then we'll get you you'll download the book, and then you're going to see 7 steps. It's very short. So I love bathroom books, you know. If you can read it like kind of one sitting, it's a perfect book. These books are 300 pages. When are you going to read that stuff? Who's got time for that? It's short, 7 principles. You have to do all 7. You have to do them in order, and then hit me up after and let me know how it went for you when you're financially free. And then the last step, when you're rich.
Amazing. Just want to say thank you so much, T Harv. What I'll also do, I'll chuck in the description box for all of you who are tuning in as well, just so you can click through to it. T Harv, just want to say that's absolutely incredible interview today. Thank you so much for just basically not holding back from your truth and just going all out. Really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of your students and your group, everyone listening, everyone watching. You know, it's a big deal. There's a million other things you could be doing. So, you know, I'm not only grateful to you for allowing me to share any gifts that I might have, but it says a lot about you. And so I want to acknowledge you for, if you're staying to the end of this call, that's basically an hour of your time. It shows a lot about you. You're willing to do the first part, the learn part. Now take some action, take one step. You know, when we coach, you say, what is the very first step you can take with what you learn? The very first one, and make it simple and easy. I'm going to Google. Well, first one is, I'm going to get that book. That's the first step. There you go. As simple as that. You've already done it. Right? I love you all. And thanks so much, Tim. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, T Harv. Just want to say, Insider, thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, my friend, follow your heart and take action. See you on the next video soon. Take care.